What is up, everyone? Welcome to the vehicle showcase for my LEGO Star Wars The Clone Wars Fort Anaxes MOC. Now, for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, I definitely suggest you go ahead and check out the cinematic and the finale videos here on the channel. I'll leave links down below, as well as a card on the top right of your screen. That way you know what we're going to be talking about today. Now, also, for those of you who are not aware, 70+% of you are not subscribed. For the love of God, please subscribe to the channel. I would freaking love you forever. But today, we're going to be talking about every single vehicle, what I was doing, what my ideas were, and how that vehicle was used in the Anaxes MOC. So it's going to be a great video, guys. Before we go and get started, make sure you drop a like down below. And like I said before, go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more updates and other videos like this coming soon. Now, as always, all the builders and credits will be down below in the description, so go ahead and check them out. But first off, let's start with the smallest vehicle, quote unquote. This is going to be a custom troop transport by my friend Daniel, or Lego Clone 123. Again, all the links will be down below in the order in which they appear here in today's video. But the idea behind this troop transport was just a little vehicle to add some extra detail around the MOC. Of course, it's primarily used for transporting items or troops or equipment. As you guys can see here, I have a couple astromech droids. In the MOC, I actually used it differently. Here you can see how you actually put on the trooper. It's super easy, very simple. Now, in Anaxes, I actually used it for a couple of different things. I had a wrecked battle droid on one of them, as well as a Cody helmet and some other equipment, and also driving the astromechs to and from a gunship, which was really cool. Again, a small detail which came out amazing. Go ahead and support Daniel. The next vehicle we're going to be talking about is a custom Clone Wars bark speeder. This is designed by Luca S Projects, or Luca, for those of you who may know him in the LEGO community. Very talented builder. I immediately fell in love with this design. I knew it was something better than I could ever create. What I really loved about it especially was the ability to make it look like the troopers are actually driving it, which looks super cool. You could detach the legs and put them on like a wrench piece, and then it actually looks like their feet are being angled. Of course, you could see the empty gaps between the minifigures, but I didn't think that really mattered much. I thought it looked super cool. Overall, the bark speeder is a very small minifigure scale speeder, which is great. The parts aren't too intricate, so of course, if you are looking to buy it, Luca does offer instructions for purchase, which is super nice. This was an amazing speeder. I have never seen such a more perfect render of it. Again, this is all subjective, but it was super happy, and I was very excited to include these bark speeders. And of course, the bark troopers are actually provided and borrowed by my friend Trevor, who will also be linked down below in the description. Now, the next quote-unquote vehicle is a chain of vehicles. It's a chain of different carts that I actually found on BrickLink. I made some slight modifications to it. That'll be the previous link down below in the description. Now, this was something I added very last minute. The first cart here is actually a fuel cart, so I basically envisioned this essentially fueling the gunship, again, getting it ready, making it look realistic as if the gunship was actually getting ready to be deployed. The second one here is actually a missile rack. I put this right next to the AV7 cannon, which I will get into later in the video. This thing can hold like 24 missiles, which is crazy. I thought that looked super cool. The next thing is actually going to be the third cart, and that's basically like an oxygen tank cart. I thought it made the most sense to put this right outside the medical bay, because all the treated clones who are recovering from their battle wounds would essentially need oxygen and other stuff like that. And then the very last cart is just a simple driving cart for whoever's operating the actual machine. It has some really cool details. It's got a broom and some other like utility things right there, but this was a really nice thing that I wanted to add into the MOC. Again, it wasn't anything too integral or too important, but I did think it looked cool, and I think it added something really awesome to the end final project, which of course just offered more detail throughout the entire road, which I thought was definitely worth it. And now the last sort of smaller scaled vehicle is a custom 501st ATRT. This is designed by David Buchholz, or Dave's Customs. This is also the model available on Brick Vault, and you'll see a lot more Dave's builds just a second in this video. Now, this model right here, and pretty much all the other models, I think this goes with them too, is probably the best one out there. Again, that's entirely subjective. I ended up using some brand new CAC ARF helmets to make it just look super badass, which I loved. And overall, these 501st ATRTs are just so nice to look at. I think the model, the scale, everything about it looks great, especially the wedge plates on the front with that angle. I think it looks super accurate and really well done. The legs also look fantastic with all the 2x2 little like circle plates and stuff like that make it look real and sort of like that stuff. So overall, a great design. Now in terms of how I used it in the mock, I actually did put them on the side of the road right next to the column of ATTEs and other clone garrisons. That's just essentially there like this recon force, essentially like a backup force, and that's kind of how I used them. I only used 4 of them. I didn't think I needed any more for the mock in the project, but this is a beautiful design, which again is available on brickvault.toys. Now getting on into some of the bigger scaled, bigger vehicles I featured in Anaxes. Here's the first one. This is a custom minifigure scale AV7 cannon designed by my friend Mason, or M5 Builds. It's essentially an anti-vehicle or artillery cannon that I didn't know if it was necessarily featured in Anaxes from the episodes that we got in the Clone Wars Season 7 on Disney+, but when I saw the model, I knew I just had to include it just for something to look at, because this model is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, minifigure scale, which is very appealing. So for those of you looking for a model, Mason does sell instructions. Definitely go ahead and contact M5 Builds down below. Now in terms of just design itself, the feet are gorgeous. It stands on 4 different feet here. You can see like the inner skeletal area of the actual AV7 cannon with the missiles on the side and the red wedges and stuff like that. You could also see a really nicely designed custom gunner area that it was provided by my friend Patrick, Lego Loudmouth, and then a great barrel here using a whole bunch of pieces. So if you're in the market for a custom minifigure scale cannon, definitely go hit up Mason down below. Moving on to the last 2 large vehicles, centerpieces of the mock. Here are 2 custom Clone Wars gunships. These are designed by Dave's Customs, David B. Colt's, the ones available on BrickVault. David reached out at the beginning of the series and wanted to know if I was interested in using this design, and I don't know why, but I immediately fell in love. I know there are plenty of other gunship models out there, but for some reason this particular one spoke to me. I love the fact that you could have headlights on the sides that can actually be interchanged with gunship turrets as well, which I thought was super fun. Now on Anaxes, these gunships were on essentially a big landing platform that were used to stage the actual clones getting on into the gunships. You can see here the 501st Legion getting on into one of the gunships. So this was a really fun part of the mock to make, essentially having a whole bunch of clones getting ready, getting geared up, and getting ready to deploy out to whatever mission they were going on, and just an absolutely gorgeously designed gunship. It just blew my mind away, honestly. Now there are a couple of really cool functions. Like I said, the front headlights are actually interchangeable with turrets as well. The doors do open as well, which is nice. Now I do have the front turrets on, so you can't open it completely, but I will give you a little bit of a look into the inside. You could probably fit anywhere between 12 to 14 clones if you really squeeze them in there, which is a really nice number to have. So I would definitely highly recommend and suggest this model. I think it costs around $150, which is a pretty good deal if I do say so myself for such an amazing and stellar build. So that is the gunship that I included in my Fort Anaxes mock. And the last one, my favorite one, is again designed by Dave's Customs. This is the custom Lego Star Wars minifigure scale ATTE Walker from the Clone Wars. We saw a little bit of it in episode 2, and we saw extensive shots of it in the Clone Wars animated series. This thing is gorgeous. It's by far my favorite Republic era, Clone Wars era vehicle. Now if you watching this actually have a minifigure, I suggest just holding it in your hand. Now on screen you can actually see the minifigure on the top of the ATTE manning that main cannon. This thing is ginormous, so if you guys have a minifigure, hopefully that'll give you some sense of scale. I did a full review of this ATTE. I'll leave it up on your screen right now in a card, so you can go ahead and check that out when this video is over. Now, having 2 of these was incredibly important to me. It was the main focal point of my mock, as I will show you in just a second. The main road was populated by these guys, and just having 2 of them opens up many avenues for making future mocks. Now, in terms of play features, the ATTE has a bunch of them. The front cockpit piece does slide out. It has 2 spots for 2 drivers. I unfortunately don't have the accurate one, so hence why I don't have any of them in the video to showcase to you today. There was also a side door. There's 2 doors on either side, so 4 doors per ATTE. Again, there is a full in-depth review of this. Go check that out. Doors open seamlessly, as well as the top gunner does have basically 360 motion up and down quite a bit. Like I said, in terms of Anaxes, these 2 walkers were featured on that main road, surrounded by bark speeders, gunships, ATRTs, a whole bunch of clones. It was just one giant massive procession, and again, this was the main attraction on the mock, and this is what I wanted to be absolutely perfect, which these walkers definitely made that true. So guys, that wraps up the vehicle showcase for LEGO Star Wars Fort Anaxes. Again, please go ahead and check out the cinematic and the finale if you haven't checked it out already. I hope you guys enjoyed. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. Please go ahead and support all the builders. I am in no way a vehicle mock builder, which is why I turn to all these incredible builds. So definitely go ahead and support everyone. Almost every single one has instructions available. Until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, stay indoors. See you later. Take it easy. Peace.